This video is about using the BODC client to search the NERC vocabulary server, or NVS. You can access this search by going to the last link in the Controlled Vocabularies for the Marine Sector section on the Controlled Vocabularies page of the Medin website. This gives you access to all of the same vocabularies as the CDataNet search. It's just a different user interface that allows you to search in different ways. You can also access this directly from the British Oceanographic Data Centre's website. Once here, you have three options. You can search for a term in a vocabulary collection. So this is for if you already know the collection name that you want to search within. You can search for a term across vocabulary collections. So if you're not sure which vocabulary you want to search in, this will show matches in the identifier, preferred label, alternative label, definition, whichever ones you pick, across all of the different vocabularies where your search term appears. You can also search for vocabulary collections. So this search is specifically in the vocabularies names. Okay, so let me show you some examples. Let's say I conducted a survey and wanted to unambiguously define the instrument I had used to collect the data. We'll say I used a specific make and model of fluorometer. And I know from the metadata guidelines that it's the L22 vocabulary that's used for instruments. So using this search function, I can enter or find the L22 vocabulary in this list, and then search for the word fluorometer. Note that the help text here says that you can also use the % symbol as a wildcard if required. If you're inputting multiple words, the order is important. It will only return results if the terms in the vocabulary have the same words that appear in the same order as your search term. So you can also change the filters, so you can decide whether you want to search in the identifier, preferred label, alternative label and definition, or any combination of these. You can also choose whether you want it to be an exact match or if you want it to be case sensitive. Your advanced options also give you the ability to search for only accepted, or if you want to search for any deprecated terms as well. Deprecated generally means they're no longer used, so I would recommend not using this if you're looking for accepted terms. This also allows you to add additional words to search for, or to exclude. Okay, so you can see that this has returned all of the different terms in the L22 vocabulary that contain the word fluorometer in either the preferred label, alternative label or definition, and it's highlighted the word fluorometer in each. So if we wanted, we could narrow this down a bit more. We can see from the terms that have already been returned that the structure of the preferred label is make, then model, then the type of the instrument. So we can use this to build up our search term in order to narrow down the results. So if we know our make or model, then we can enter that before the instrument type. So let's say we used a wet labs fluorometer. So we'll enter wet labs and then the % symbol to signify that any other words might appear between those two search terms, and then we'll continue with the search. And we can see that that's narrowed down our search to 8 records. So from here we can probably look down the list, reading the preferred labels and the definitions to work out which one is the one that we should be using. So if we say that this is the model that we used, so clicking on this gives us access to the full record for this term. Here we've got the link to the page. This will always take you back to this page. We've got the preferred label, which vocabulary it belongs to, the full definition for the term, and several related terms as well. If we wanted to use this, we could use this direct link as a unique reference for this term, and that would always bring you back to this specific definition. Okay, so if we go back to the search, other option, if I didn't know the name of the vocabulary that I was looking for, is I could search in here for a term across different vocabularies. So if we try fluorometer in here again, just to see what we get. So again, we have the same filters as above. I'll just leave them as standard. Okay, so we can see here, this has returned a list of all of the different vocabularies where this search term appears. So I can now expand all of these to get an idea of the kinds of terms that are described in each of these vocabularies. So P01 are specific parameters collected by fluorometers in this case. L22 has appeared again, so these are clearly the instruments. L05 we heard of before is the instrument categories. So we've got several different types of fluorometer. So this is a really good option if you're not sure which vocabulary to use, because it allows you to quickly explore the terms in each vocabulary and decide which one will work for your use case. So if I was looking to describe an instrument used to collect data, I'd be able to tell from the name of the vocabulary and from the terms that are available in the drop-down that the CVOX device catalogue is probably the one I'd want to choose. So you can either select individual terms from here, and that will take you directly to the page for that term, or you can find the name of the controlled vocabulary at the left-hand side and click on that. This will take you to a search within that vocabulary for your search term. So let me show you the final option. This allows you to search for vocabulary collections. For example, the CVOX device catalogue or L22 that we've been looking at so far. This search will be looking at the controlled vocabulary names rather than the terms within the collections. So we'll need to think more broadly when inputting our search terms. We use a different example here. So let's say we want to find keywords to describe the parameters or types of data we collected for the discovery metadata record. So let's try searching for parameter. This returns quite a few results, including P01, which is specific parameters, but probably a little bit too detailed to use as keywords. So we've got quite a few others here, so maybe it's worth narrowing down our search a bit more. Let's try adding discovery, since we want to use this for discovery metadata. So this has narrowed it down quite a bit more. So it says P02 is CDataNet parameter discovery vocabulary, and it's described as terms describing fine-grained related groups of measurement phenomena designed to be used in dataset discovery interfaces. So this sounds perfect for our use case. So if we click on that, we'll then be taken to a search within this vocabulary, and we could, for example, narrow it down to chlorophyll and find a couple of different terms. So this is in water bodies or in sediment. This code is probably the one that we'd want to use. And again, this record shows you the full description and lots of related terms as well. So hopefully that's explained all of the different ways you could use the BODC search client.